the future of our country and the integrity of the country, prosperity of the country, the future of our generations to come. The second point I am wanting to make is to yes, give an update as requested on the court cases. The court cases that were quite key at the beginning are coming up on Wednesday, 20 May. They are likely to be streamed live. They some media houses who have applied to have them live streamed, to have the television have access to the court. So there will be a meeting tomorrow on the 18th to try for the court to then tell us what they want about that. The people we are representing, they are very quite happy with the live streaming and so forth. So they will not stand in the way. So it's likely that the court will grant that framework, which would mean that people have an opportunity to listen to the arguments on Wednesday. Now, of course, when you are in court, there are always two possibilities. One is that you win. The second one is that you lose. So I'm not really wanting to update you on winning. If we win, it will mean that for the time being, the bill will be stopped. It will not kill it forever. It will stop it. Then the politicians who are after it wanting to, they will find a way and so on. This is a thing, but it will be a very big victory if we succeed. That answer might not come on Wednesday. The court might reserve judgment. But if we lose, that is simply not the end of the matter at all. Because what is in court, you have to ask, what is it that we have lost? If we are going to lose, it will be to lose the stopping of the bill before it is debated by Parliament, because that is what is in court on Wednesday. So it will not be to say that the bill is guaranteed. It would simply mean that these arguments which were put across to deal with trying to say the bill should not even be debated in Parliament for the reasons that are being pressed before the court on Wednesday. So if we lose, it means that we would not have succeeded in stopping the bill. The bill can then go on to be debated. Losing would not mean that the bill is correct or the bill is wanted, because that is not before the court. So losing would simply mean that we would not be able to stop it. It would then mean that people will continue opposing it politically. Then, of course, Parliament will have to go through the process. If Parliament finishes and then, like what they are saying, they don't go for a referendum, they want the president to sign it into law, then there will be another court action again in the same court, which will be a different argument to say that you cannot pass such a law without a referendum. So the referendum case is not yet before the court. It is a different case that can only come after the bill has been passed by Parliament. So with this explanation and update, all we are saying, the court processes are merely the various methods employed to try and stop the bill. Stopping it politically, people are continuing with that. Stopping it legally is what the courts are doing. If those efforts fail of stopping the bill, then we'll continue to oppose the bill politically, and then legally we'll come again with other cases that will try and still make the bill not be law. But as you know, the legal process is merely one of the many processes that must be used to deal with. If the legal process succeeds, good, it will be very good to all of us. If it doesn't succeed, that is not the end of the world. Politically, we continue. What I should say is that we shouldn't have this bill at all ever becoming law, and I think we'll succeed. How we will succeed, which arrow will shoot or which bullet will kill, would depend on the circumstances. These actions are merely bullets: the legal bullet, the political bullet, the referendum bullet. All these are bullets that are coming in. Then the third and final position is that it will be very, very useful if at the end of all these processes, we get all people opposed to the CAB 3 real working under some coordinated action or under some coordinated roof, either as under united opposition or as a broad alliance, or you can give it any name. It's important that for now, and if we can manage it, and there's nothing that should separate us. If people really would then want to get into, in the future, into different political parties or remain sort of with their political parties, that is okay. But we must ensure that we don't have an undemocratic constitutional framework being imposed on the people. That there we must be united in whatever way. So that those will be my contribution. That is really my speech, more or less. Let the struggle continue. We will be very supportive. Everyone, I think, would be. It might not be possible from time to time to be all present at platforms such as this one, but it is important that you get the message that most of our people are quite happy with what is going on.
Thank you, Professor. We appreciate you for the update on what is happening in Zimbabwe and also the court process. And quickly, I would like everybody to thank the professor, and also, if you have questions, you can come on board. I would like also to say, share this platforms, because this is the first online rally. It's going to be very successful. We still having the numbers are climbing up. Many people are anticipating it. So we are very happy to be here. And Professor, just to ask, have you heard about this is still on the same cuff? People say the president has run off to another country. We don't even know what's going on, whether there is potential for a coup in Zimbabwe. I know that's a tough question for you to answer, but just to know if you know anything along those lines. Many people in diaspora are sending me those questions in the back door to say I should ask you if you know, if you happen to know if Mnangagwa is coming back. There's so many rumors that are happening. We are not in Zimbabwe, so we can only get some of the news since you're on the ground. Thank you so much.
Well, I think that you have asked two questions there. The first one to deal with the president hasn't run away. I think it has more media. We were told, and we know, I think he went to Belarus, or whether there's also a trip to Russia. I'm not sure, but he's certainly coming back. But tomorrow morning, you will see him in the country. I think he will be swearing in the new Chief Justice and the Deputy Chief Justice tomorrow. So that is not correct that the president is out. Sorry, he went away and he's not coming back. He is certainly in the country. Sorry, he will certainly be in the country, I think, by tomorrow. That's what my understanding of it is. Then the other issue you're asking, no one would know whether there are any prospects of a coup. No one will ever be able to know whether they can be a coup or there may be a coup.
Thank you so much, Professor. Dr. Maisho, I would want to welcome you to make your presentation, please, and then we can also open the mic to others. And everyone, you are welcome to. This is a rally. This is for you. You ask your leaders questions. That is why we are here today. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Divine. Thank you for the opportunity that you have afforded me to share my thoughts. Right. Thank you so much, Prof, for bringing up clarity in terms of what the courts are, what's happening in the courts, and it's very important and interesting for us to know. My submission to the people of Zimbabwe, those locally and those in diaspora, is in the front desk in politics. On this very time where we are faced with a tricky situation, which if we let it, then it means we are doomed for forever. We need to do what it takes. I don't know how, but each one being inspired, we must make sure we take this thing politically. If we don't take it politically, or we don't take it through the social, which is maybe the business style, the church style, where even wherever we are in churches, wherever we are in our businesses, we are speaking against this thing and make sure that it doesn't be passed into law, because everything that we need and in the enjoyment of our nation is all packaged in the constitution of Zimbabwe. So we as foot soldiers on the ground, like Professor He's running his party. I'm running the other party on the other side. We are calling together for unity. I think you see this group being said united opposition. We want everybody to come together so that we can confront this enemy that is forcefully entering our space. ZANU-PF, I know it, and ZANU-PF, when they say they are going to pursue a thing, they will not retract. They will continue pursuing it. So it's up to the Zimbabweans now. Now it's all about the citizens. It's not about a political party. It's not about an individual. It's all angles. Everybody, you have a stake in this nation. We must rise up, whether peacefully or not, I don't know. We are not encouraging violence from any, but we are saying whatever it takes that makes Zimbabwe liberated. That is what we want. But mainly, let's unite as a nation and confront this situation. Because courts, they are manipulated. Mindly, the new chief justice that is coming in, and whatever the lineup that are already in our judiciary, they will, of course, not maybe support or defend it honestly. Of course, we believe that when Professor and his team goes and argue, there may be some merits and whatever that they can present, but of course they may be manipulated because this is political, and the guys, they want the CAB to succeed. So we are now given a window up to the 2nd of June where the president will preside again, or the parliament will sit and debate, and they are going to speed it up maybe within a process of a day or two so that the president, yes, it will be an advantage if then maybe our military, like the question Mafa did, would maybe chip in that way, which you asked. That would be an advantage for us. But would that be an advantage to all the citizens? Or it would be also an advantage to the few sunlights? That is another situation that we have. So when we are looking at this, the only home we can safely say can bring us unity is unity as opposition parties. I remember very well in the City Sports Center, Prof was sitting on my side, and I had Garuvume and Timber by the side, Tendai BT, and Wakomichi, they were sitting together with Prof. We found we tried to resist, and the mic was not given us. We were not afforded an opportunity to speak. You know why? Because the guys were seeing that this bay, there are people who will say no to that. And they ran away with the mic to that when they see that violence. So that happens in this generation, this time in the age of technology, then it means ZANU-PF is capable of doing things. I was asking a question to say, what if maybe it was too late for us to do it, but we suppose they've gone to the people with also papers to seek a no to CAB so that we can present it together with the application that are going to the court to say these are 1 million, 2 million people that have resisted the amendment bill. But our merits, I don't know as far as it is concerned, whether we are going to pass, because we are hearing that 300 people, according to social media, has agreed to the passing on of the bill. But if we could have mobilized majority in Zimbabwe, maybe to come up with 1 million plus people who say no to this, then it means the merits of the professor and other people who are defending could then make some weight in the court. So this is my thinking as an individual. But the most important thing is, let's come together. We are mobilizing the churches. We are mobilizing also on the ground. We've got people on the ground who are saying no, but our voice is muted. As far as even when you are campaigning in Zimbabwe, you have put your life on a chopping block. So what can I say is, Zimbabweans, the time is now to unite for a bigger cause. The time is now to support the leaders that are putting their life on risk. This is the time. This is no longer the time of criticizing whoever is fighting, but it's time to come together and use whatever we can, whether it's a knife, whether it's a gun, whatever we can use. But we must be very wise in how we handle this situation. ZANU-PF, sometimes it needs confrontational, sometimes you need an ambush, sometimes you need a professional way of handling them. but we have tried all. I don't know when and which strategy shall work in Zimbabwe. Over to you, Mafa. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I want to ask you, my Reva, a simple question. I was going to also ask that question to Professor if he can chip in. It's probably legal in my framing. I've been hearing this idea that the CAP 3 bill should have not originated in the executive branch. And by having originated in the executive branch, it's illegal ab initio, right from the start. It's no longer a valid bill. So by participating in the hearings, do you feel that it gives credence to the process of the bill, or the since it's an illegal and fraudulent process, and participation in a fake consultation only helps Mnangagwa, to clean up his dirty bill? So should we have just stayed away from clearly participating, or it would have caused us to be run over? That's just a quick question for either one of you, and I'll start with you, Professor Dr. Maishore, since you are still here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Divinema. Yeah, the situation that is there, even if we could have said we are not going to participate in this flawed decision or bill consultations, it was going to be a challenge. Even ZANU-PF could have just bring them Mapostory like what they did, because he found that the whole city sports center was full of Mapostory and they were burst in. Mind you, there were two consultations that happened in Arad, the one in Rua and the one that at the city sports center. The very same people that were in Rua, Mapostory, wow, they were the same people who were bursed to the city sports center. So whether we could have not participated in the consultations, there's still no difference. So it was supposed to for us to be there, because even if the media could have seen the opposition not being there, they were also going to question to say we don't have an opposition in Zim. These are sunlights. But we went there not to give credence to the system, but and the mic was being resisted, and the go for delimitation, they will still go for it. Even if you say, I'm not going to go for elections, ZANU-PF can formulate its own way to do it, because they have captured the system. Plus, mind, our parliament has been captured. We found out the people we had here presiding as the member of parliament in this in Harare here are all from ZANU-PF province. There were most of them ZANU-PF people, parliamentarians that were there. Because I remember very well Webster Shamu's wife. I remember very well Kanopula. I remember very well Kandishaya here. These are ZANU-PF people. They were the MPs that were proceeding over the process here at the city sports center.
Was this bill born illegal right from the start, ab initio, or and if it was born illegal and it should have not originated in the executive branch, why did you guys participate even in the hearings? Probably that's the question.
Okay,
Shouldn't we
that's
just remove consent completely? I hear my brother that is not here because he was arguing that factor last time. So probably that's not my thinking here. I just want to make sure I notate that to you, Professor.
okay. Thanks. I think you must understand, and all people must understand. To say that something is illegal or unlawful or unconstitutional is always an opinion. so that it's not like there's no scientific accuracy. If you take the view that something is illegal, that is correct, you can then say you're operating on that basis, or you say it's legal. So this question of whether the bill originated properly is actually one of the questions that would be answered in the applications or the matters that are before the court for Wednesday, the 20 May thing. These ones where one of the arguments is that the bill is illegal. The bill itself is illegal. That's why it must be stopped. Remember when I gave you update, I had said that at this stage, these cases in court now are cases trying to stop the progress, further steps. These steps are being sought to be stopped on the basis that it's illegal. You only a court can then say it's illegal at the end, and that's why we have to wait. So your question is open, and it will then be something that the court will answer. There are people who argue that doesn't matter. Cabinet has a right to initiate constitutional bills. But there's also a strong counter argument that says a constitutional bill cannot be initiated by cabinet in the way this happened. And those are legal points. For me, I cannot preempt the court decision because that is why we are in court and we'll try and argue. So it remains an argument. Then, as to whether or not it was wise to participate or whatever I think that that question, in my view, it should actually not be said to be participation. Perhaps it's a misleading way of putting it. Um, there's no participation. We wanted to go to that forum, those meetings, to tell whoever had organized the forums that. What you are doing is unacceptable. That's not participation. I think it's to narrow it. I mean, someone is doing. It was not different from what we are saying now. So the fact that you are actually going to face people and say it physically because they've organized meetings, they had invited people to come and give inputs. We were not going there to give inputs and say this is bad here. We were going there to communicate our total rejection. So the hearings were platforms for us to say no. That's all what we just to make it known that we are opposed. And I saw someone trying to say that it was not a referendum. We knew that it was not a referendum. It was a platform for the freedom of expression. What was at stake in all the public hearings was our freedom, the freedom of every person to say what you think. You could actually go on top of the mountain where there's no one and say, I don't want bill number 3, and you shout and shout. That will still be okay. Then you can't say once you say that you have participated. So I'm saying it's a very narrow approach. It's not, I don't want to call it narrow. It doesn't help anyone, that kind of debate, to say, why are you? It doesn't help. What must help is that as he has indicated, and then they saw that the opposition was going to say no, they didn't want to hear that, and then they refused to give us a mic. That's off. So I don't want, in my view, to say that I can have to defend did I participate or not. I went to that platform to say that I'm opposed, just like I'm saying it now.
You are very exhaustive. When you speak, it's clear and it's so clear. I see why you are a lawyer. You are so
All right.
exhaustive.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much. This Sister Carol, I know you are here. You got fiery questions for your leaders. You can go ahead and pick up them. I don't want to dominate all the questions because this rally is for you guys to speak to your leaders. Thank you so much.
Um, good evening, good afternoon, good evening, Professor Maduk. I know tomorrow you're going to court and everything and all that stuff. My concern right now, if we stop this cap 3 and all that stuff, we're going to, if we stop it, you know what I'm saying? I know the judiciary is corrupt and all that stuff. If we manage, I mean, we stop it and everything. And my concern, what happens after this? You know it very well. There's already a war in ZANU PF. They're fighting for whatever ED and whatever their war is going on over there. What happens if they decide to, I mean, I know it's not, but us as citizens right now, we feel like we should be at the front. We should be involved in everything, not people being at the back every time we get screwed and people come up with some shenanigans, and yet we, as citizens, we end up failing and all that stuff. Uh, if we stop Cap 33, maybe Professor, you stop Cap 30, Cap 3, you know, 3, we stop it, and it's not going to move forward, and they decide, hey, we cancel off. And one thing which worries me is that I put it at the back, and we stop it right now. There is a war in Zan right now and everything. If they come up with some of these cooked up stuff, you know what I'm saying, whatever is going on, him and Chiwenga or whatever is going on in Zanu, because they believe they own us too, yet with some of us were citizens. What if they come up with another cooked up thing they decide to do, maybe since the economy is not doing very well and all that stuff, they're trying to bring you guys like what they did last time, bring a unity government, whatever you guys come in. I'm asking you right now, can we citizens, as ourselves, because now we want to be involved in everything, can we be inside involved in some of those negotiating? Are we allowed to do that by law?
You are certainly. I think I should answer quickly in case I might then lose my network. I'm moving. Clearly, the processes that have taken place with CAB 3, if I may call it CAB 3, and all the debates, the energy that it has generated, it has created a very different Zimbabwe as we speak at the moment. So if we were to succeed, in fact, we should succeed, whatever happens. I do not see a situation where ordinary citizens will keep quiet and allow an elite group of politicians, whether they are also opposition involved or all these things that you are suggesting, a unity government and so forth. Clearly, people would have to be involved. The law allows it. And I don't also see any a progressive politician in the opposition wanting to proceed with anything without the input of the generality of the people. That is also not going to be the case. So we should welcome the opportunity that has been created, some blessing that has come out of these current discussions. There's an active Zimbabwean grouping out there, an active Zimbabwean grouping here, and that would help us move forward. So that I would say yes, that is what would have to happen. Then you have also said that I didn't understand you saying that Parliament. If we stop Cap 3, it means it will be business as usual without Cap 3 for Parliament, for government, and so on until the elections in 2028. That's what it would mean. Unless if we stop it, we then demand either an early election or something that would be. But otherwise, stopping Cap 3 merely means that we are back to business as usual. They continue to govern. ZANU-PF continues to govern until 2028 when we have elections.
Okay. My one other question, Professor, and all that stuff. Like I'll give you an example. I've read some of these coups, whatever had happened, and what we figure out, some of us, that we're being pushed around as citizens, and by end of the day, we go back to our houses, and you guys start negotiating and all that stuff. Can we as citizens, we have our own reservations that this is how this country should be taken forward as from now on? Are we allowed to do that? Us as citizens, we have our things, which are our demands, which should be met with any government, whoever comes in as a government. Can we be on the table to negotiate how to move the country forward? I'm just you as a lawyer. That can you tell us? Are we allowed to sit on the table? Whoever the government comes in, whoever the president or the leader, whoever people, not politicians, as independent citizens, would love to sit on the table. Some of these demands. Let's say we pick up people in the province, each provinces, people who present ordinary citizens, that these are our demands in this, and we should be sitting on those. Are we allowed to do that? I'm just asking.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes, you are very much allowed as a matter of law. In fact, to be able to sit at a table anywhere is your demand. Many people then don't get to be involved because they would not have demanded that they'd be involved. So I don't think that there will be any issue. Once anything happens, no one will stop people organizing. Like Divine and others have organized this platform, for example. Let's say there is some talk of any negotiations, and Zimbabweans speak out, get this platform, say, look, no, nothing there without us. We want to be sitting at the table to do this. Is how we are organizing ourselves. It has happened in several other countries. So citizens can and should be able to do that. They must actually organize themselves. So that's straightforward as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you very much, Professor, for clearing this up. You guys have heard it, and I hope everybody's clear in citizens. Now we want to be on the table any negotiating anything with the government, because every time citizens have been screwed and all that stuff. And I really appreciate that, Professor, you have cleared this out for us. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sister Carol. Appreciate you. Welcome, Brother Signoro, and welcome everyone. I would like you to share this platform to everybody. It's a Sunday. Most of you have just come from church. Free And yeah, so I think we're going to have a great day, and I really appreciate you for being here. You love your country, and you've surrendered your body to be here and your time, which is very valuable. And thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Maisho. Maishoreva, and thank you, Mangisi, and thank you, Sister Masi Tuboy. Um, thank you, Matsikandove. You are always supportive. Thank you, Mr. Ongap. You are here. And thank you, Douglas Shumba. Thank you for coming. Uh, and thank you again, Brighton Mreuha. Dobbs is here, Chakanyaka is here, Masivanda, Maduve, Dr. Sixpence, you are here. Dr. Sixpence always have very sharp point. He's one of the smartest guys I've had. It's very exciting to hear when he asks those sharp questions. I would like you to come on board and ask your leaders. And thank you, everybody who I have not mentioned. You are not unseen. I appreciate you being here. Doctor, let me go straight to questions because this is your time. Signora, you have your hand up. You can, Signora, you have your hand up, my brother. Go ahead. My homeboy from Kwekwe there, Mr. Signora. You can ask your question. Thank you so much. We'll go straight to the questions. That's why we are here. It's not for me to speak, it's for you guys.
Revolutionary greetings, Comrade Maduku Ahoy. That should ring a bell, eh? Glory be to God for this wonderful moment when we are looking at issues of national interest. Thank you for clarifying from the previous speaker that we are the citizens, the power resonates in us. I want to extend a question on that so that at least we want documented things. I believe she mentioned that. I want you to be very clear as I welcome you to this space, Honorable Comrade Maduk. What sort of instrument can we use and break the record that for the first time in Zimbabwe, citizens have a voice? I'm not talking of activism here, because activism, I'm sure you have sent the message that these people, they are waiting for an opportunity. You will see us in our large numbers. We're not going to fight anybody. We're going to just say Jakwana at each other. To complement what it's not going to be can be used. But get me right, policy or no policy, we have taken a position as citizens because take this positively. You have let us down for the longest time, not you, Maduku. That's how we feel. We now want to take charge. What official passage can be used to be recognized as a citizen in this island so that you understand? It's never easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not possible. And there's no time to sit down under a tree to organize ourselves. So I'm not expecting organizing and all that. Even one person, we are determined to follow that one person. I agreed. Going forward, we no longer want you as leaders to agree without our consent, without our involvement. Thank you.
Well, look, I'm here as one of the leaders from different political parties or different civic groups, and of course, I have a legal capacity or legal expertise. But why do you want your question to be answered legally? Why do you want to find out whether the law allows you to do that or not? That's what is surprising me. I mean, you want to do certain things. You want your voice to be heard. You want this country to go in the direction of the interests of the majority of the people. You would not want a situation where things are imposed on you. That's what my understanding. Why do you want to ask what the law says about it? That's where the problem is. It's irrelevant what the law says. If you want that, do that. Make sure that that happens. That's my problem with the whole framework. And this is why with respect, you are exaggerating the role of lawyers. The law is not made upfront to already help you in what you want in the future. The law is made by those with experience and who might from previous things they don't want certain things. The law is made in such a way that it doesn't easily facilitate broad-based participation by ordinary people. It disempowers in some respects. So I'm afraid I'm not be able to say. I did respond to the earlier speaker. I mean, she asked, and I said, look, you are allowed to have your voice heard. You are allowed to be able to say whatever you want. It is up to you what you demand. And I don't ask what the law says. The law, what if the law says you can't do it? Then so what? Like now you are told that the law does prohibits a referendum. And some people have said that. I mean, so these are things that we know the law doesn't prohibit, but it can be made to prohibit a referendum, but doesn't matter. So I think I've answered. Yeah, I think the senior, if you have followed us, I've answered in a bit in what I
I
thought
love
of.
the smile on
But
your
you
face. I'm
can
not
you
going
can
to.
you can respond. But I want you to confront the question I've got. Why do you want the law to be on your side? Yeah,
Yeah,
because the law cannot. It's not God that the law cannot know what you want.
no, it's
Just to
no,
do what you
Maduku.
want. Yeah.
Maduku, we are both old wood. Naziwa. It's silent.
Maziwaga.
So it's silent. So Tichaita Zvachaita. So I'm sure you have not been on the spaces. This, for your own information, we've been fighting. She said, others saying, hey, what provision do you have? We have tried to say, you guys, you should not do what you want. Who should recall you when we've got the power to put you in? So this is not a pertinent question, but I respect your response. We shall do what we're supposed to do as long as it's in tandem with the law, even though the law is
Correct.
silent. Thank you so much.
Correct.
I
Thank you. In
appreciate it.
fact, I want to say that if, for example, they go ahead with CAP 3 and they actually pass a law which says that you shall not elect your president yourself directly, you elect an MP and someone else will then sit in parliament and give you a president. and then we are going to be the people of Zimbabwe as from 2030 who will be given presidents. I won't be part of such a country. I will fight whatever the law will be saying to say this is
Right.
nonsense and so on. That's what we're saying.
Thank you, thank you. This is that's this was funny. Mangisi, I see your hand is up. I'll talk less, and Mangisi, then you come in, Queenie, and then Sister Mercy. Yeah, remember we have other leaders here also. Don't harass Dr. Maduku by himself. Thank you so much. Go ahead and ask your question or
Yeah,
make your presentation. I don't know if you're a leader or you are also a candidate or you are a public member like us.
I wish I would be both of it, leader, candidate, whatsoever. Yeah, my submission is like what has been alluded. But if you are speaking by yourself, people can easily ignore you. People can just take you like what they did to Zamara when he was initiating that resistance. They will just collect you as an individual. But when they begin to realize that there is a mass of people organized, this mass of people with one voice, that voice cannot be ignored by whosoever, by whatsoever power. And if any power tries to ignore such kind of a voice, it is the one that will go. Like it himself used to say, the voice of God is the voice of the people is the voice of God. When people are united and we are organized, that way we will have a voice. So in line of that, I wanted to ask this question. I want to direct it back to Divine. Maybe there are people who are just coming on board on this platform. You see, it's a united, it's a platform for unity. And I heard you saying there is already provisional leadership. Some people might want to come on board from other different political parties. They were not following this platform. They were not hearing what this whole arrangement is like. How will they participate? How is their participation going to be like? Is this organization, if it is a provisional leadership, is it one day going to have elections for leadership? Those pros and cons, so that other people might feel like you started your own thing, you already have positions in that thing. We do not know if we come, because there are people who are always questioning, how did you come up with this leadership? Because everyone now, if people want to come on board, civil society, churches, a lot of other stakeholders, they might feel this is the way to go. Let's go and gather it, under that platform, which is being led by Divine and so forth. They would want to have those questions asked. If we are coming to participate, who will be participating as affiliates? Will there be one day elections to choose leadership for that platform? Is it just a movement without, because I understand there are structures, there is leadership in order for us to be organized, click all that kind of stuff. So maybe Divine, you can answer us further on that one. How are people going to come on board and be part of this noble idea so that we participate together when the Cape 3 is passed in Parliament? Because we have a war, we've got a struggle, it's an ongoing thing. Whether we are going to elections in 2028, whether we are going to try to defeat the Cape 3, whether it will be a struggle until 2030, but it's an ongoing struggle. That struggle must have a properly established foundation in order for it to be able to sustain itself to the distant future. Because this is not a temporal thing. We're not going to fight for today or tomorrow, but you are going to fight until victory. Thank you, Mr. Divine.
Thank you so much for your question, Mangisi. I'm Divine Mafa. Many people see me on spaces. I'm literally not anybody, really. I'm just a guy who loves his country. In the past months, we were hosting with President Komichi, and I saw his passion that he wanted the opposition to be united, and necessarily not just the opposition, but people who oppose specific corrupt activities, hunger, people who oppose bad roads that turn journeys into death traps, people who oppose abductions of opposition activists. people who oppose lack of medicines in hospitals, while officials are flying with jets and helicopters because they themselves can't drive anymore. People who oppose, especially number one, the slaughter of the 2013 Constitution through Cap 3. And so diasporans are not allowed to vote. So you are not a citizen. And so those things that we oppose together, whether ZANU PF exists, whether MDC exists, whether CCC remains, whether NCA becomes the major leading party in Zimbabwe. But what we know is that people oppose specific dangers in our constitution, specific actions in our constitution. And so we came together and created a steering committee. There is no leader at all that is held up to be the permanent one. This is just a steering committee, just putting people to make sure somebody has to act. And we have been acting in that capacity. I was elected chairman for now. I'm in diaspora. I mean, I can't even vote. So I can't even run for any position in Zimbabwe. But I have the capacity to raise money for everything that's happening in Zimbabwe to facilitate safety, to go to Congress here in America and let them know what's going on there. If they have to add sanctions again, if it so be it, because what we want is to stop these oppressive measures against the people of Zimbabwe. The actions are very important, that source. So this is the potential that we have the ability to have the source to connect people, to make sure we have a fighting force as one, because divided we die. We don't fall, we die. Qualified to do anything. If you feel like you have the capacity, then just come on board and say, I want to be in marketing, I want to be in fundraising. I think there are 30 positions that are still available, and they're not really positive, they're all temporary as a steering committee, and there is nothing permanent at all. The leaders are not even taking up positions, they are there to be supportive. As you saw, President Matuku, we have all the leaders in the opposition, especially in our WhatsApp group now, but they are supporting this venture to say we need a united opposition. Now, does it become a political party? You had President Maduku said it could be if you want, but if you don't want, you can go back to your original formation. But it's better to fight under one common goal because it gives us the highest chance of success. But you're not, I mean, he didn't say it in those words specifically, but something